All right, so thank you for joining me today. We are going to be talking about Dropbox and all the fun things you can do with storing documents and large image galleries on it for your PRMC websites. One thing I need to emphasize, right off the bat, is that Dropbox, your PRMC dash web dash whatever your department or unit's name is, those Dropboxes are to be used solely for documents that need to be public on your WordPress sites here at GSU. They're not used for just basic storage. If you put a document in your Dropbox, it needs to be available to anybody who comes to your website, and it needs to be used on your website. So don't just store tons of documents in there that are not being used. There are um, other storage devices that you can use that will serve that purpose much better and won't hog up space on Dropbox. If you do have, documents that are internal for faculty or staff or students who are actually, in your school or college or in your department, and they don't need to be, public to everybody out there, we ask that you use Microsoft SharePoint, or if you have a Dropbox that is specific for that use. But the PRMC-web dash, your name folders are only for public documents and image files that you are currently using on your site. So with that being said, let's jump to it. So when you log in to Dropbox, you go to dropbox.com and you log in with your GSU SSO, your single sign-on ID and password. You'll come, to something that kind of looks like this, and you'll look for this folder, GSU PRM. This is the folder or the folders that you have access to. We've given you access to that are all for our websites. As you can see, I have access to all of them since I helped set them up and I'm, helping to control them. But say you need to upload documents to the communications toolkit. I'm going to select that right here. And first of all, let's back up a little bit and go to your website and your storage devices here. Um, at this point in time, there should be no PDFs, Word documents, or Excel files, just regular documents that are stored in your media library. We probably had you move everything over to the document manager folder, which I don't think we even have set up in this one. We've already removed it from here. So let me find one that site that actually still has it. So we need you to, yeah, we can give you a whole list and then the actual, all the documents in one zip file that you have on your site. Just send in a ticket to us at tickets@gsu.uservoice.com and we can get the ball rolling with that. But what you need to do is then transfer those documents over to Dropbox if they're still being used. First of all, you need to verify they're still being used. Don't worry about the ones that are not being used anymore. And transfer the ones that are currently being used. Here we go. So here's the download manager. Gonna click on that. And I'll show you, how to transfer them and access them in just a second. So here's kind of what it should look like. And we'll download everything for you into a package, and you can, look through the Excel file and work with your team to figure out, what still needs to be saved and actually used on your website. Um, if you want to just keep it, on another server somewhere, you can always put it into SharePoint. And then before you upload it to Dropbox, um, first, there are two things that we ask. When you get to Dropbox, sort everything. Start putting everything in, like start creating the folders that you know that you'll need. Take the time to set up how Dropbox is going to, look and function for your department before you upload even the first document to it. You just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page, everybody understands where things are going to go and where they can find them in the future. You want to future proof this for you and future employees. So if you know you're going to have like a bunch of CVs, set up a folder, for CVs, and then you can upload the CVs to that folder. If you have like, projects and plans, set up a folder for that. We have like in the communications toolkit, we have an org chart, we have social media, we have a style guide, we have training documents, and we have video and photography. Whatever works for your unit and department, set it up that way. The second thing that we ask is that you take a look at all those documents that we will have, downloaded for you, or if you're doing it yourself, um, and try and give them a naming convention that is you're going to use for all your documents. Uh, we have found in the past sometimes people just give them like a one word name, or just the date of whenever the document was saved. We ask that you take the time to give them names that are going to be universal across all your documents. So if you want to give them like title dash date it was created dash name of the person who created it as an example, just make sure that they're all set up properly so that they are easy to find and easy to categorize. So if somebody goes into a folder, you know, this is pretty clear, but I would definitely make sure that there were dates for everything here, so that it's crystal clear, when this version of the document was uploaded. And, if you want to give the name of the person who uploaded it, so if you have any questions, you can reach out to that person. Great. But try to be clear and try to use like the same kind of naming convention. So if you're going to have like all one word social media guidelines, or if you're going to break it up by dashes, social dash, media dash, we could have been a lot more universal in our stuff here, even though this is basically just like a test folder. So do all that first. Then once you have all your documents and you know which ones are going to be used in the future, go to the folder that you're going to add it to. So I'm just going to go into training documents here, and right here, say I want to upload a document. I'll delete this one and do this one from scratch. So I'm going to go in here, go to upload or drop, find the file, and you can do like a full folder as well. If you have everything already sorted and named properly, you can upload that whole folder as one item. So I'm going to go down, find the document I want, upload it. There we go. I just want to show you here. Here it is. And it has been uploaded today, 11:13, gives you the time. Um, and this is a great feature of Dropbox. If you ever have uh, documents that need to be, updated, um, and you have them on your website, so you don't want to like have to like find all the links to this document again on your website. If you upload the same document with the same name, with whatever updates are in it to the same folder, it will keep the same link, the same public link that goes to your website when you're displaying where you're displaying this on. So just be aware of that. If you do need to, update the date and the person who, made the changes to that document, then you still do have to get a new public link, and get into that next. So here we go. Here's the document I want to share on our website. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go to share. Click on share. And I'm going to copy the link. But here's where we have to make sure that we pay attention, because currently only team members with this link can view the file. We want to change that. We want to make this a document viewable to anybody with the URL, with the link to it. So we want to click on this Manage button. And then we want to make sure that it is set to link for viewing. Sometimes there maybe an option up here for link for editing, and you want to make sure it is set to link for viewing. You don't want to give editing access to everybody. You just want them to be able to view it. So click, make sure link for viewing is selected if it is not already. And then all you got to do is click on who has access, anyone with the link. And then sometimes my window here is a little small because I'm using my laptop screen and the save button is covered over. You want to make sure that you click that save button or else the changes that you just made will not actually occur. Yeah, that's great. So I clicked on save. It has saved, and then we get the copy link. And this link allows viewing for anybody who, clicks on it or views it. So that's great. What we then do is we go over to our pages. I know this seems like a lot of steps. It becomes really quick and very easy to do after just a few times once you get it in your mind, the system of the whole thing. So you find the page or pages that have, links to that document, whether it's going to Dropbox, whether it's going to the document management source or if it was in the media folder. You find out where it was. Say it was this creative link right here. Click on the button and you add it to the URL and make sure it opens in a new tab because it's going outside of a GSU site. Set that link, save it, save the page. So that is the long and the short of it for just a regular document. What I want to get into next is something that we've just figured out that we can do and is a fun thing to do. Which, if you have a lot of large photos and you want to turn it into like a slideshow, or you want to like just direct people to a public folder that has all these photos. If you had like a large event and you just want to share these photos with people, if you have like more than like 4 or 5 photos and you want to save them at like higher resolution than what you just would want to display on the website, you can store them in Dropbox and link to them that way. So let me show you how you do that. So I created an image folder already. And if I wanted to just link people directly to this folder, which, it would just look like this when they got there, but they could, see all the images and open them themselves. This is how you do that. So you go to the image folder, the full folder, do the same thing, share, copy a link, make sure it's not just team members with this link. So we want to manage that. Here we go. And we don't want link for editing. We want link for viewing. Switch it to anyone with the link, save it, copy the link, and you can direct people with that link, put it on your website. I'll make this one the link to that folder. And there you go, Bob's your uncle. Save the page after you do that. So that's how you can like direct people to a full folder. Now, if you want to like grab those images and either, add them to your page separately or add them to like an advanced carousel, there's like one extra step you need to do with those images. So you need to go into the image folder. So here are the separate images. So you have to grab that public link for every image. We just had someone do this yesterday and they were like, oh no, it's going to take forever. She emailed me 10 minutes later and said that was a lot quicker than I thought it was. And I got all 30 images, done. So it is quicker once you get into it. But so say I want to grab, this image first, do the same thing, share, copy link, manage, link for viewing, change it to anyone with the link. Save, copy the link. There's one extra step we have to do if we're trying to display that image on a web page. And let me show you how to do that. So first, let me just set this up as an advanced carousel. Because in order to do this with an advanced carousel, you have to do a few things. Just to show 3, okay, whatever. Let's just save that. We're going to go in here. So advanced carousel set up, and I'm going to add an element to it. We have to add it to a text block. And we're going to add just an image, any image that you have in your folder, your actual media folder, just to get something in there. So we're not really going to be using that. But what we are going to be using is how it was set up. So if you have like a full dimensions for it, you can use those, put those in as well. If you're not, and you just want to take up the full space of the carousel, just do that. We can remove this, size full, and then this is what we want to remove. So we're going to paste in the URL that I took from Dropbox, and then there's one more thing that we have to change. DL equals 0, we have to change to raw equals 1. I believe that is the correct. Yeah, raw equals 1, and that will actually display it on the page. So save that, and then let's preview this. Preview should show that for us, nice and easy. Scroll on down. Well, here it is. I had it display 3 at a time. So if there were 2 other items here, you'd see all those, and then you could carousel through for the rest of them. But there, proof of concept, it is showing up in this advanced carousel, and you can then go back in here, grab all the rest of these, put them in there as well, and just set up the carousel however you want it to be viewed. One image at a time, or what. But any questions on how to use, Dropbox for your public documents and images on your PRMC websites? If you need help with SharePoint, IIT can help you with that if you need to, share your documents, or Julie and I too, if you're trying to, set it up on a SharePoint. Uh, we have one department that they have a bunch of documents, 100 documents that they're moving to SharePoint, but they still want to link to them from their homepage. They've made notes that these documents are only for internal use. You have to log in to see them, but we can help you with that as well if you need something like that. But just be aware, everything in your PRMC web Dropbox needs to be public. It needs to be actually used. Don't just use it as a storage device. Any questions? Nope, Jasmine, I see that you had raised your hand. You have a question?
Yes, I have a question for the WordPress our site page. So I don't have the drop down that says download. I have a drop down that says document.
Yeah. Some We tried to change it to document manager, and we did that for some sites, but not for others. I don't know what the logic was behind that. I wasn't involved in that. But yeah, if it says documents, then that's the same thing.
Okay, and then so as far as like everything that we are uploading or moving, is it only PDF, Word, and Excel documents, or is it like everything, including photos or videos?
Not if photos and videos are in your media folder,
Hmm.
those can stay there.
Okay.
Um, We just ask that, of course, if you're uploading any photos, even to Dropbox, that you compress them first using like iloveimg.com. You can, compress the image, you can resize it here, you can even crop it if you need to, or Photoshop. And if you're saving it in Photoshop, save it at like 70% JPEG, and that'll compress it so that, even your largest images on your site are, no larger than 300 kilobytes in size. If you have any images that are larger than that, they need to be compressed. And
Okay,
even for Dropbox, you don't it's for, storage space, and it's for bandwidth, for things to load quickly. Most of our users nowadays are on mobile devices, and you don't want them, waiting around for a 5 megabyte image to load when that same image can look just as good at 250 kilobytes. So,
okay,
but images in your media library, that's what the media library is for, as long as the images are actually being used. Perfect. Videos, we actually prefer that you store your videos on like YouTube. And if you need help with that, if you go to the communications toolkit and video and photography, reach out to those guys because they either have some place where you can store the video, or they want to be included as users on whatever YouTube channel you start. Just in case, somebody, on your department sets up a YouTube channel for video on your site, and then that person leaves and nobody has access to it anymore, that can cause a problem. So reach out to our video team if you have any videos that you need for your website.
okay. My other question was, so once we are going into the media and the document center, how are we like exporting or getting those documents?
Julia can help you with that. She is the director of digital services here, and submit a ticket to us, and explain that you're moving your documents away from your website to Dropbox, and you need her assistance. You need our assistance to document which documents you have, and um, so that you can sort them, figure out which ones you want to keep, and she will give you like a folder of all of the documents on your site as well for you to rename and upload as you see fit.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, because I was just like, if once we do this, or if we were doing it individually, I was like, so do we need to, like, the link to whatever is in the media site will need to,
Yes, you need to find all the links where your documents are actually stored, or where your documents are actually linking to on your website. And it, if you have just, a few documents, I don't know how many you have, but if you have like less than 20, you can just go to your pages, do a search for each document as you come across it and as you upload it to your Dropbox, and it would just be faster for you to do it yourself that way. But if you have like a ton of documents, and they're stored, like on a single page on your site, using the automatically generated document manager, program that we have, you'll have to like recreate that on your site using just actual links, or find them, do a search for like the document name on your pages, do a search for it, it'll pop it up, and then you can find it on the page, and change the link to the Dropbox. It is going to be uh, a project, but once you get into it, we're hoping everyone who has jumped into this, even those who have like 200, 300 documents, it has gone much faster than they initially thought. I know it looks like a lot of work, but it does move quickly. And if you need to share this video training with a student worker to help you with it, or somebody else, I'm actually going to post a link to this recording on the campus website managers Teams channel when this is done. So feel free to share this video training with anybody and get them up to speed. And if you need help, hopefully you can get that help.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anybody else? All right. Well, thank you guys. I hope this has been helpful. I'm also going to post this video on our knowledge base articles. We have a couple articles up for just, Dropbox documents and for, image sharing on Dropbox. So I'll be posting it on that as well once I put it on our YouTube channel. So it'll be up and available to anyone in multiple ways to find it. Cool. Well, thank you very much. And next week will be an advanced WordPress training session. I will share the information with that on Monday and post that on the same Campus Website Managers Teams chat. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Chris.